Hey campers, it's Andy coming in with another great episode. We got highs, we got lows, we've got excitement. I think I cried a little bit at one point too. I'm not gonna say if it was tears of joy or if it was me being aggravated, but we're gonna get a lot of win and a lot of fail all in one episode. So stay tuned. Hey everybody, I'm picking up the camper from the campgrounds right now. We've got a storage lot out there and getting ready to bring it home. Got a handful of things I need to do to it. I want to have this thing as ready to store as possible. So I hope to shampoo the carpet. I hope to fix a couple things. I hope to maybe modify a thing or two and a couple experiments. So this time I'm working on the furnace. We found out last summer at the end of the year, it was actually October for Halloween when we went camping, we discovered that the furnace did not work. We'd only bought the camper about a month before that, secondhand, and we were not told about the heater. So we found out the hard way. Luckily, we've got one of those oil-filled radiators, plugged it in and kept warm. Our furnace is right inside of there, inside those louvers. I can't get it out from the outside. There's a slide right there. So that makes even getting on the floor and working on it difficult. I messed with it before. I know it's probably just the sail switch having dirt on it. We have 2 golden retrievers. The previous owners had a dog. So I'm sure there's just hair on the sail switch. So last time I was in here, I had the grill off, the louvered grill. I had that panel off. And I was not able to access the sail switch. I also didn't have tools with me. I only had a couple tools. Now I've got all my tools at my disposal. We're sitting in the driveway. And I'm going to try it again because it is September now and we're going camping for Halloween again. So let's see what happens here. So here's the furnace. I got the 2 panels, the louvered panel and then the flat panel pulled out. And you'll see, I don't see the sail switch anywhere. I don't see anything anywhere. Just a bunch of instructions, and then I've got all these hoses right here. But I suspect that the sail switch is in here somewhere. So I went outside and I took this off the side of the camper. Okay, you've all seen it out there. 4 screws each corner, and it comes right off. Nothing exciting there, but it's going to be fun to put back in place. You got to snake it around a bend and then get it to go into the exhaust on this. There was 3 of these hoses on the side and then 1 up here. Those all go to the vents in the camper. One of them might be a fresh air vent. Anyways, they're just held on with regular hose clamps. You can use a flathead screwdriver if you hate yourself, or you can use a 5/16 socket. I use a Duradyne on my impact. Then, once I got all those off, there are screws holding the back of the unit onto the wall. I had to use 2 extensions for that. That's why you buy extras. All I have left is the wiring. There's enough wiring here that I can pull the unit out of the wall and set it over here somewhere and look at it. Well, okay, I may have to cut the power, but I don't have to cut the thermostat yet. And I've got the technology to rewire it together, so that's not a big deal. In theory, all I have left is the gas line. Once I get this off, I should be able to pull this off the wall. Yes, I should be able to pull it off of that wall and bring it out and under. If I remember right, this was preventing me from doing that. And I wouldn't be able to pull it out on the side either because this wall over here is turned like that. Let me break this line loose and see what happens. And no, you don't want to use adjustable wrenches if you can help it. I have the tools. However, I also have a broken leg, I'm recovering from a broken leg, I should say. Had a compound fracture on my right leg below the knee. So I'm not pulling my tool cart out into the alley, and I'm not walking up and down those steps to go in and out of the garage. Not with my leg like this. Plus, I am lazy too, so there's that. All right, you want to be gentle with that. That is metal tubing. You don't want to kink it. You don't want to crack it. Okay. I'm going to stuff all these down. There's one small and two big. Slide this out this way. That's what I was afraid of. I remember right. Now, like I said, I can't get it to come out very far. You can see right there, right here is the screw, and that is the center point. So I've got this much that's still inside here. If I were to able to move this off of here, it might come out. If I can get this one to come out, it will come out. And I'm seeing wiring and stuff up in here. I don't know if you can see it. There we go, that yellow. Oh, let me change the focus. There we go. That might be what I'm looking for. I don't know. So I tried seeing if I could stand it up on end and look down into the end of it. That yellow thing that we saw was a fuse. The fuse is still good. Now I'm going to try, maybe instead of bringing it down and out, maybe I can go up and out. Not likely, because those openings are about the same size, but the top one is just a little bit bigger. So let's see how that works out for us. That didn't work. This is where being stubborn and cheap can be kind of aggravating. Okay, so I figured out what I have to do. I took all these screws out, 1, 2, 3, and then another one over here. Same here, there, and then a couple down in here, and more down here. And I started pulling on it, and it wouldn't budge. So I figured it out. This and the outside one, there's an inch between the two of them. So I had to rip this off. And you can see what's holding it on. What's holding it all together now. That's the next thing. Okay, careful, careful. Now I've got access to the heater. It's a beautiful day. So I need to turn this on to heat. Okay, this turned up into the 90s. So let's see what happens here. There's a self-diagnostic port, a light that's supposed to flash on this thing. It's right back in here. Let's see what happens. This is throwing me off. What's that switch for? Why isn't it wired up? What's it do? Alright, here we go. Watch for it. One flash. One flash with 3-second pause. Airflow limits fault. This goes here. This is the sail switch. And all it is there's a finger inside. I had the whole thing out. I should have turned on the camera. But there's the switch inside that as soon as it goes back like that, it closes the contact. I'm not sure how that's supposed to work, but just like everybody always says, there was a little bit of dog hair on it, and it was keeping it from clicking back and forth. So I'm getting ready to take this fuse off of here plug them into there and see what happens when I hit the switch. What I think happened here, the previous owners, they had a dog, like I said. The hair got caught in there, because what it does, it goes through the vent on the bottom of this cabinet and just sucks right in. There's no filter, there's nothing. So I suspect the hair got sucked in there, went down right through the blower motor, straight down, and got tangled up in the sail switch. They called a service guy who knew exactly where the sail switch was. This is all speculation. But he reached in there, reached down, unplugged it, and snapped in a small fuse, hoping that would work. Now, there may be something else wrong. I don't know, but we'll find out here in a second, because this didn't, if that was the problem when he had the service call, this wouldn't have fixed it. At least, it doesn't seem like it would have. Let's see what happens here. Well, that's better than what we were having. Okay, I just turned it off. You heard it. The furnace works. Sweet. Now I got to put it all back together. Now before I finish this up, I still have that panel to do. I still have the louvered panel on the bottom, and I still have screws down on the outside, not on the outside, but the inside of it on the perimeter to the floor. But before I do that and finalize this, I'm going to go outside, hook up the exhaust, and I'm going to fire it up again and make sure that it works. Now I've got to get this panel back on, and this is how they did it, but I think this is a little bit heavier duty. They had little itty bitty staples, and this thing's got, well, that wide. The heat is on. I got the blower. The gas just lit up. Oh yeah, right through that wood.
3 days later.
I also scrounged up some filter media to where I can make an air filter for the furnace. There we go. Now I've got 2 filters. I've got an idea for more permanent solution, but that's not going to be anytime soon. And it is working. It's 52 degrees outside right now. It was 55 when we pulled up. And my solution right now, just the suction of the blower is holding it on. Probably going to put some Velcro tabs up here, maybe just some blue tape, who knows. But it's cleaning the air before going in. I wasn't sure how I was going to close out this episode. I wasn't terribly crazy about how I had to go about it to do a simple procedure. That was a lot of work just to change out a small switch. I wonder if I could have done it with just taking off the hoses, slide them down into the floor, and rolling it up like that. The problem was I didn't know where the sail switch was. I'm willing to bet now that it can be done without removing that entire cabinet. That was a lot. Here's the beautiful part. Sarcasm. After I filmed all that, when we went out camping for Halloween to close out the year, furnace was working great for about 3 hours. Then it quit. I had a heater with us. We were only camping 18 miles from home, so I went home and grabbed another heater, and we were comfortable. It's too busy and too cramped and too crowded to try and tear it out while we were camping. You can't get on the floor with two golden retrievers and not have them play with you. And I'm weak and undisciplined, so I would play with them. But so now we're right back to square one after all of that labor, and the furnace doesn't work. Of course, I checked the gas. I made sure it wasn't leaking. I made sure that it was getting pressure to the heater. And all the simple quick checks all passed. So now I'm back to going to the self-diagnostic light. Probably going to involve removing that grate and using a little inspection mirror. We'll revisit this again some other time. Could be in the spring, could be in a couple weeks, I don't know. But trust me, you'll find out right after I find out what the heck happened. So until next time, we'll see you at the campgrounds.